Hey everybody, my name is Josh, joshallmusic.com. This is Shavasana Kitty YouTube channel, and this is the third video in a series of chord scale videos that has dealt with the C major chord scale using strings 4, 3, and 2, or the D string, G string, and the B string, and today the root is going to be on the D string. So we began way back when with the root on the B string, so C was played here, and then we had the whole sequence, up the neck and back down, and then we did it in this inversion so that C was here, so this is now the root on the G string, and we did this sequence where we had the root on the G string. So now we're putting the root on the D string, and what that does is C's now here, and this is how you play C major. So C, E, and G. And you might recognize this shape because if you've been playing acoustic guitar, or you know your campfire chords, cowboy chords as some people call them. This looks like F. And so if you know the notes on the neck, you can take this as an F right here, and that means, and this is an F major chord, this must be the root. And so you can slide this, and if you know what note you're playing, oh my goodness, that's an A, now you're playing an A major chord, right? So it's actually really simple, but you do have to be aware of what it is you're playing. And if you can do that, then substituting like what the name of the chord is, and then how you can use it around, actually it makes a lot of sense. It's pretty easy. But the practice that I'm giving you today is for playing smooth and beautifully. It's learning what it is you're playing. That you should do anyway. Whatever it is you're learning to do, you should try to commit it to a place where it's working memory and a place where you can apply. So it's like applicable technique, not just like, oh, here's a neat thing I know how to do. So here's C. Sorry about that. So here's C. And then we move up a whole step. And actually, you know what? I'm doing this out of order. Let me share something so that you have it. You can take a screenshot of it. And so here's the handout. Okay. So take a screenshot of this. This is our path. We're going to start on C, go to D minor, and then we're going to go over here to E minor. I tried to save paper, and then F, and then G, and then there's an arrow sliding us up to A minor, B diminished, and C. And notice C and C are the same, right? So then you can go backwards, C, B diminished, A minor, G, F, E minor, D minor, and C. And being able to run that is pretty useful. I'm going to show you the rest. This is like a tab thing. This has to do with just doing it in order. And then, so take a screenshot of this. You can pause and go. And then we have, I do it in thirds because you should do your scales in thirds. And then this last page does cycle 4. And so basically that is a circle of fourths, circle fifths, depending on how you want to count. And you're just going through the diatonic chords. And all right, so you took a screenshot of that. We're all good. I'm going to stop sharing because I don't need it, but you might. And so you use it to study. So here we go. This is C major. Okay. I'm going to slide my hand up 2 frets. I'm going to borrow with my index finger. This is D minor. Now, if you've got an electric guitar, you could keep going up. But if you're playing an acoustic, this is probably the edge of where you're going to want to play. You're probably not going to want to slide up and do E minor here. So we got to move down. E minor's right here. Okay? Now I'm using my second finger to do this. Primarily because I guess I could use my third. I guess if I was playing E minor, I would do that. It's just that feels weird to me. I would do that. And then go to, because I'm also in first position, and that is just, I've been practicing that way my whole life, and so this is where I'm at. E minor, you go to F, you know how to play F. Notice when I'm using my second finger here, going to F is the smoothest possible way to do that. Sliding up and doing that is not as smooth as that. So, at least I don't think so. You can do whatever you want. So there's F. You slide up 2 frets and you've got G. Slide up 2 frets and you've got A minor. Now this next one, B diminished, I use my pinky for. So you've got your B is at the 9th fret, D on the G string is at the 7th, and F is at the 6th fret of the B string. That, B diminished, and then C. So this move, notice that these two fingers, right, playing D and F, they stay the same when I slide into C. I'll just do that. I'll do that again, the whole loop, and then maybe you play along. So this is going to be C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, C, back down, B diminished, A minor, G, F, E minor, D minor, C. All right. After that, you might want to try picking it with like a simple P-I-M-I like that. Just doing a... You might stay twice on each chord just for... So it can be like a little etude. Doing this sort of thing really exposes... any technical problems you might have in your left hand in terms of moving smooth, because your right hand is a motor. And so that, I think that alone is a beautiful practice. Then you do it in thirds. This is tricky. You're going to go C to E minor, D minor to F. Why am I thinking E minor to G, F to A minor, G to B diminished, A minor to C, and then if you want to do the turnaround, B diminished, D minor to C, and that works pretty good. I don't think I wrote that out tab-wise, just based on where things are. I might have, I don't remember. C to A minor, this is backwards, B diminished to G, A minor to F, G, E minor, F, D minor, E minor, C, right? And then you might do the turnaround, D minor, B diminished, C, and that would be thirds. And then once again, you could do the little like that kind of thing, and that, I think that would be a totally reasonable. It'll definitely expose, you know, where you're might have some issues. So, and even just remembering that, like to be able to cycle through like that is awesome for your brain, and it's also really good for your hands. There's the shifting of positions, the keeping it smooth and beautiful is that's a perfect thing to practice. Now, cycle 4, we do C to F, okay, B diminished, to E minor, to A minor, to D minor, to G, and to C. And you could do the same thing where you do a C, F, diminished, E minor, A minor, D minor, G, C. Okay, and that would be another little thing that you could do just to get your hands flowing around. All right, last step in the long process of just getting this under your fingers is to improvise on it. And so I've got my iReal Pro Major Cycle 4. I get a lot of mileage out of these things. You just stick in a chord progression, tell it to play, and then you dance around this. Once you've got it in your DNA, you've got it so you can move around, then you just make an improvisation. So here we go. I'm going to only use these chord shapes, or as best I can. so I think that's fun to kind of dance around and do that and just see where it leads you. All right. There's nothing more than that. You don't need to make up like the best solo that ever existed using this constraint. All right. The purpose of it is to gather your fingers around and just kind of get to know where you are in the neck and know what notes you're playing. Hear how different chords work against different chords. You might start to become less afraid of certain dissonances because you're able to resolve them. Because you know where you're going, you know what notes are nearby. You can find the note, you can use a note that's within the chord to resolve to. There's a lot of layers to all of this. And yes, knowing what sounds good takes a lot of practice. Yes, being able to move your hands technically takes a lot of practice. Once you've practiced it, though, you can start applying it. And then you're not really thinking anymore. You've done these things so many times that your hands kind of know where to go. And that is why I do this. If I'm improvising on something, and a lot of times when I'm improvising as a solo guitarist. So I'm holding it all down. There's not a band to sort of give me space. I have to give myself the space. And so these kinds of movements help me figure out where I'm going to go next, and it helps me play in a way that is really smooth. And hopefully beautiful. That's really the goal. An application of this, if you ever want to hear how I use it, you can listen to my new album, Inhale, Exhale. And the song Amazing Grace uses the D Major Chord Scale as a foundational element at the end of it. It's like improvised. Application of the D Major Chord Scale used in that. And so, kind of throughout the album, there are things that I call meditations. These are improv. They're totally made up ways to get in and out of pieces that are composed. And instead of ending the piece and having like silence before I start something else, I'll improvise my way out of it and improvise my way into something else. And so the whole album segues like that. And I don't know, but I like it. It's not something that it would be a little contrived to do it here. I like to do that in front of people. It makes the tightrope a little more important to walk, I guess. So anyway, if you found this helpful, useful in some way, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to check out my album, there'll be a link in the description. You can go check it out. It's on Bandcamp. You can buy it there. It's on streaming services. I don't recommend streaming services as the first place to go. If you like to listen to it, buy it and then listen to it a lot. All right. If you want to listen to it on a streaming service, fine. I'm not going to get upset about that. But it's better for the artist if you purchase it. So I always do that first. I do that with the music I listen to. If I like an artist, I buy their music, and it's just a better way of going. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, do the things you do. Appreciate you being here, and hope you have a nice day. See ya.